Okay, the example that we're gonna explain today is about a shopping center. So the shopping center, we need to calculate the total receipt of the for the customer and the total amount the customer need to pay. So we have item and we have price. So let's create a new project and we will use an array. Okay, so Java and Java application, and you say next. Let's say array for the shop, for example, and you click finish. We create a variable called string item, and then we do what? And we do so for example, for the price we do okay, string item, and for the price we say what? We say double price. And when you say, for example, try to enter the items, okay, dot out dot print, I'll just give a message, enter, or let's make it more precious, scan item name. Okay, what's the item name? That means, okay, and then after that you can say scan the item price. This is the normal way to do it. Okay, now this is the scan item price. All right, now we have to put here, after that we have to enter the item. So we say we have to use a scanner because we're using input. So I'm gonna say scanner, and I will call it in dot on equal new scanner, and that will use system.in and semicolon, and the S has to be capital in system, and then we need to import the Java DTL.scanner, and that will come up on the top here. So we use now import. Now this is the scanner, that's fine. Now we have to put the message scan the item, and then we say, for example, what? Item equal what? Equal n dot text, because it's a string. All right, this is for the item. And for the price we say price equal n dot next double, because it is a double type value, and then we can print the receipt for it. This is not ER, this is supposed to be out. This is a normal one for the shop to enter the item name and the item price. I can print out the receipt saying that, for example, okay, let's print something like this. I can print this, for example, let's say okay, for example, Wonder Shop, and just print out. This is just a small print to make the output looks much better. And then you can add something like this, okay, like this, yeah, and then you have to say system with add print, and print here item, okay, slash t. Letter means something in Java, so slash t means tab. Tab means 8 spaces, okay. And I'm gonna print here, you will see that, Control V, and I will print what? I'll print the item plus, and the tab plus the price, okay. And I'm gonna copy that, and we have to put something here, and we can say, for example, Control V, the total here. I can say instead of that, I'm going to say the total, okay, that you will pay. How many? What's the total? The total is the price, because we have only one item, is it? And we can add here a variable called total double, total. Okay, and the total here, you can say the total equal or plus equal the price, and then we can print the total here, and we can add something to it like Omani Riyal, for example. Okay, double is not initialized, you can say U0. Okay, alright, that was the problem. We didn't initialize that. Save the program and run it, and when you run the program, it's supposed to ask you to enter the item name and the item price and so on. Okay, so this is when you use a single variable to run the program. So I'm gonna enter the item name is, for example, Red Bull, and the price will be 0.99, for example, and enter. So this is just simple one, the total, the price. Okay, now this is for a single item, but when you go for shopping, you will buy more than one item. Okay, so what's the problem here? We need to save all the items. Okay, we cannot ask you to change the same value. If you buy 100 items, how many times you want to repeat this statement? 100 times. Something very simple. So the easiest way is to use what? It is use a variable that can store what? That can store more than one value at the same time. And this variable should be used an array. So I'm gonna use the price, but as an what? As an array. I'll just add this bracket to it that make it an array, and the item as well, I'll make it an array. So I have two arrays now, one for the item, I can accept more than one item, and one for the price that will accept more than. I need to specify the size for it, so I can say new. Okay, I need to specify the size. Okay, or you can say, for example, yeah, let's specify the size, a new string, and what's the size will be, and the size will be, for example, let's say 3 items. Okay, now this will be 3 items. Yeah, we can do that. That's very simple. We'll fix the error later on. Not suitable. Yes, it is not suitable. This one should be like this. Alright, and now we can also specify the price for the size for the price, new double, because it is double. Okay, new double, and the size is 3 only. If you specify the size, you cannot change it. Okay, that means that this array can hold 3 items. If you want to specify the size later on, you can ask the user to enter the size, okay, before you use the array. But now let's say 3. Okay, now I have to change this one. Okay, I need to have what? I need to have a loop. Alright, so I'm gonna put a loop here, using the loop. Instead of repeating this statement 3 times, I'll show you why I need a loop. If I have to enter the first item, and then I have to enter this here statement for like I scan, for example, items. So these are 3 statements. I have to use, for example, item 0 here, and the price is 0 here. Okay, I have to specify. Now it's become an array. I have to specify the index. I'm gonna save in the index 0 this value, in the index 1 this value, and so on. And then go for the index 1. Same thing. Okay, so we finished the first one. We have to go for the second one, starting from here. Okay, so item number 1, and here price, index 1, and this is the second one. Okay, I need to enter the third one, so I'm gonna copy and just change the index. So what we can do is, this one now is 2, and this is 2. Okay, can I add another one, item 3? No, because the size is 3 only. 1, 0, 1, and 2, and 3. Change the index. If you run the program, okay, every time you need the total, okay, here, cut, and every time when you enter that, you have to say what? You have to say this statement, price equal total price. I'll just do it at the end, okay, here, same place. I'm just gonna say, okay, total equal price is 0 plus price L1 plus what? Price 2, and I have to make it like this, total plus, okay, total plus price is 0. Here we have a plus, and that should be okay. So I added the prices to the total all. Now when I print it, it's supposed to give me a receipt in a good way. Let's see how does it happen. So let's say run, for example. Just gonna make it bigger. So I'm enter the item, for example, bread. Price is 1.2. And another item, for example, called ice, coffee, or coffee, let's say coffee. Who want coffee? Let's say 2 reals, 0.0. And the last one, I'm gonna have to chocolate. Okay, and the price of the chocolate will be 0.200, and that's it. So you can see that, okay, it's print the total here, and the total is the price. Now here in the print statement we have problem, okay. Why did this happen? Anyone can tell me? Because I ask him to print what? I ask him to print the array without index. This is the error happened because I asked to print what? Item and price like this. I have to say item 0, and then I have to say price 0 as well, okay. And then I can print the other ones like this. Copy this one and enter that like this, and I can say what? This is 1 and 1, and the last one is what? Item number 2. You have to specify the index, otherwise it will print like this. If you don't specify the index, it will print like this, okay. Now let's print that and try that again. I'll just enter any things, okay. So I'll say A, price is 0.2, and R, price is 1.2, and the last one is C, for example. The price will be 4.5, and this comes like this, and the total price comes in a good way. Instead of writing this statement more than one time, so I write this one what? How many times? 3 times. Why do I need to write it 3 times? I can use what? I can use array, okay. I can use array to an index that moves 0, 1, and 2. I can just do this, okay. I can use for, and I will say, for example, integer, and I will give a variable name I equal from 0 to 3, okay, and I must be less than 3, and every time I should go increased by 1, and I want to execute these statements. So no need to repeat this. I'm just gonna make it what? As a comment here. So no need to repeat this more than one time. I can use the loop. If you want to enter 100 items, you can use the loop. You can use 100, okay, that should be fine. And the price, I should add the total here. Instead of writing all together, I can add the total here inside the loop. I can say what? These are inside the loops. Okay, these are inside the loop. It's better to do it this way. And every time I say total plus equal what? Price Li. So instead of specifying 0 here, I will say I, and for the price I, because I is moving from 0 to 1. So I will equal to 0, then 1, then 2. When it reaches 3, it will stop. It will stop because 3 is not less than 3. 3 is equal 3. This is the condition when we stop the loop. Okay, so it will do the same thing. It will do the same output exactly without any change in the loop. Same thing here we can do in the output, in the print. Instead of printing these like this, 3 statement, I can use the loop. I can say, I can copy the same loop, okay, same exact loop, because I'm going to use the same loop. Alright, and I will just put here like this and close it and put this as a comment. I'm gonna remove these two because I need just one statement, and I will close the loop here and this one inside the loop. So I just print, instead of specifying the index will be I, and the index here will be I. Okay. Oh, great. Now the output should be the same. I'll remove this comment so you can see the whole code. And I remove this one because I don't need it anymore. So this is the code all together. This is why I specify the array and another array for the price, and we have to use the scanner and the total for the total bill, and then we use the loop to enter values in the array. And we can have what? We can have print some headers, and then we use the loop to print out the things. Okay, and that should be fine. Okay, I can just also here use /n/n/n to give 3 lines space. So when I run the program, the output should be fine. I can enter bread 2.0, and I can set ice cream. That will be 3.2, and also coffee or milk for 2 reals. And you see the /n/n, this gives you 3 lines space. We talk about a single array. Alright, now there's something called 2-dimensional array. When we say a single array, that means what? That means we print, we save what? We save the element in one array. What about a table? We can say, we can have like in the memory, a variable looks like a table. You need to create an array, it looks like table. So for example, here you can have, for example, here we create an item that contain many values, 3 values. But what about like a table? So you have to put 2 brackets, and you have to specify how many rows and how many columns. So for example, I have 3 rows and, for example, 3 columns or 4 columns. This is like a table. This is more like a table. Okay, and you specify the size for this table. It's similar to single array, but the only difference is that you have 2 index. Alright, so if I want to print it now, I should use 2 loops. I should use what? 2 loops. One for the first index for the row, and the second one for the column. So here I use 4. I should use another loop for j equals 0 and j less than what? J. The size of the column is what? 4. Okay, the size of the column is what? 4. It's different from j. Okay, so I should put here 4, and then we'll say j plus plus I need you to understand that two-dimension array is the same as single array, has two brackets and has two sides, because we have a table like column, how many column and how many row, and when we use to print it or traverse it, we have to use two loops. Well, this is the first loop and this is the second loop. Okay, so in the one-dimension array we use one loop, but if you have two-dimension array that contain row and column, you have to use two loops.